Check this out. Lotus Esprit, Lotus Esprit, Lotus Esprit, Lotus Esprit. You're watching Soup Classic Motoring. This is the build.
It's been a while, and the damaged panels at Delta Auto Body had started to stack up against the Esprit, me not being there to fend them off. But there wasn't time to deal with it straight away because our chassis has a date with a stripper. Okay, a media blaster. Every time I asked somebody where I should have it blasted, the same answer came back: Andy at Irish Cleaning Services. And you could tell blasting has been going on here for a very long time. Oh, hello, scruffy Range Rover, I love you. Anyway, when I got there, Andy had a rack set up, and our chassis seems very fond of forklifts. Speaking of lifts, check this out, an engine hoist on a pallet truck. Genius. Well, Andy had kindly given of his day, so we didn't muck about and he got straight into it. He started with some kind of a moderate crushed glass. And I'll say two things about media blasting. One, it is incessantly loud. And two, you go home like you've been at the beach. As in, with sand in your butt crack. So after a visibly conscientious first pass, Andy went across the whole chassis with a highlighter and marked points he'd missed or were a little bit tricky, so that he wasn't going to miss them a second time. And I was really glad to see him even paying attention to what he could reach inside the box section. So with one full pass complete, he cracked open a new media, a super fine glass, and went again. And this is a perfect time to have a quick chat with them, just about some of the basics of sandblasting.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about was, I just by chance asked you where you would stand so that I could set up my camera angle, and you were saying that you would be approaching with the nozzle from an angle. Why is that?
Yeah, at the angle. You see, the new blasting, it's not Range Rover chassis. It's not 3 millimeters steel. You know, it's very thin. It's nearly the same like door or bonnet skin. You know, that's why you have to blasting always at the angle, because of course you're using more grit. You know, because you're losing probably about 30-40% when you're blasting at the angle
Of your power.
But you're never going to stretch, you're never going to do damage when you're doing at the angle. If you're going to do straight, you know, you can do damage, you know, when you're blasting stuff like kind of this stuff, like in the middle. It's no problem whatsoever with the corners or those round pipes, you know. You can blast it, you can hold it straight, you know, and you can go very close to the item.
Oh, I've heard people talk about heat being a factor. What can happen there?
Yeah, you see, it's fine when you're doing heavy stuff. Yeah, there is no water. even axles, chassis. But if somebody asks you to do the door or bonnet from the car or wing, there is no way you can blast it straight away. And some people's thinking, if you're using, very fine media, you're not going to do damage. No, that's completely wrong thinking, because when you're using very fine grit, you're going to do more damage. It's nearly the same like if you take very fine sandpaper, try to sand it 3 or 4 coats of paint. It gets hot very quickly, and you have to sand it, for 5 probably minutes to get rid of that paint. With the very rough sandpaper, you need only half minute, not 5 minutes. And sometimes it's much better to use rough grit and low pressure than very fine grit and very high pressure. That's the thing.
You've actually been through 3 different media. So
Yes. First of all, we was using fine glass, crushed glass, but the chassis has so many tiny little pores, which it was very hard to get rid of with the fine stuff. Then I tried super fine glass, and it was not good enough. And then, of course, I changed in very, very fine stuff to get rid of it as much as I can. The biggest problem is pores.
why?
Because some steel, it's nothing like cast iron. If you have to blast in cast iron, you can get rid of all the rust. But mild steel, you see, you have tiny little pores. It's nearly the same. If you press the needle into the timber, there is it will be little pores, and it's very hard to get rid of, because when shot hits, it just bounce back, and you have to newly insist blasting in one area, which you can't do on this, because skin, it's very thin skin, and that's why it took so long. Sometimes there is not a hope you can get rid of those, because it's so tiny. Even if you're using soda, you have zero chance to get rid of them.
Yeah.
In some places.
So how did you feel about this one?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I
You
feel
think you got in there, or do you think just?
Yeah. I say yeah. Now you have to do a few welding jobs, and
I have to get some primer on it first.
Yeah. You have to do, and you have to do very quickly. You're not supposed to leave, for even 24 hours. It has to be done actually straight away.
A real nice, no shit kind of guy who obviously knows his stuff. Heads up, supporters get uncut versions, full interviews, behind the scenes, so check out my website at georgecorellis.com, link in the description. Okay, with numerous passes done, using 3 different media, Andy took all of the restrictions off his airline and blew out the chassis. And I gotta tell you, you hear horror stories that you'll never get media out of all nooks and crannies, but I didn't have to spend very long taking the very last little grains out of this thing with a hoover. And it was straight into the booth at Delta Auto Body. Okay, maybe not straight in, it may have hung around for a night or 2, but such is life when you're on a budget and a little bit disorganized. So, the guys recommended Epoxy Primer. This is a 2-part mix, and I was left to fend for myself one evening, and I mixed a full pot of it, 600ml. Never again. You have no idea how heavy 600ml gets when you're trying to wield it precisely, and when it feels like it's never going to empty. Still, I managed to empty the gun across the whole chassis. I didn't really get very many runs, 2 or 3, nothing I couldn't dab out and go back over. I can't say much for this process except for the thing I concentrated on the most, outside of getting an even layer all over the whole chassis and not missing any little corners, was not dripping sweat onto it as I went. It was so warm. I am stoked with how this looks. It is very, very cool. The chassis is not in bad nick. I mean, yes, it's got little pores in a lot of places, but no perforations. So now it's time to clear up our space and get ready for the big push with this car. With the chassis back prided place, here comes the hairy part. We've got to cut out all of this damage, and we've got to cut it out nicely. So if you remember, the three main sections, two pieces down the center spine of the chassis, the backbone, the T-bar at the front that holds the suspension has been badly jacked, and the rear cradle underneath the engine also badly jacked and hacked about. There are a few little dog ears and places where people were prying at it. I've seen these on other Esprit chassis. They'll straighten out no problem. So here we go, a gentle mix of grinders, scrapers, chisels and saws. I borrowed this saw, this little air saw, but it came from the supermarket. This is a cheapo tool. The blade wasn't particularly sharp, but I could not have done this without hacking up the chassis without this tool. So the next time I see this at the supermarket, I am bagging it. So here's the rear of the backbone, and with one nice uniform coat of paint, we can really see where the stress points were causing cracks. There was never any chance I was going to touch this chassis with the flux cord welder, but there is incredible news finally, and thanks to support from a guy called Aaron, 50 amazing welding patrons and a new friend of the channel, welding company Artec, we have some new equipment. Not only that, but this guy's skills were put under the spotlight. There's a video on that coming up, but for now I'm back in the tent a couple of nights a week, staying with the Esprit and daydreaming of a time, hopefully in the not too distant future, where I'm hitting some tasty curves in this thing. Stay tuned for the next episode coming up soon. Support the channel by hitting like, subscribing, commenting, sharing with your buddies, and checking out georgecorellis.com, link below, for other ways you can help out. Stay stuck in and good luck. To new supporters, Anthony Bow, Christos Calabritinos, Creator Shack, David Coleman, David Moore, GP Gliori, Greg McCarthy, Heinrich Freilund, Jack Curry, John Allen, Ken Bauso, Kevin McWilliams, Carl Hart, Kurt Shaldetsky, Two Mats, Michael Mercier, Michael Small, Mike Lang, Mike Overbow, Roland Pickering, Sean Stanford, Stian Evian, Timothy Findlay, TW and Victor Charpentier. Folks, my thanks, admiration and gratitude. Thanks for being here, and long may it continue. Alright.